I really wanted to become a lawyer because I just liked the way, I'm very detail oriented and all that. And I liked reading growing up, but it didn't really sit with me as well because I don't like to just sit there and study for hours and hours and hours every day. So I kind of was like looking for an alternative already, like, okay, what else can I do to prove my worth, or how can I make my value go up as a man? What I fell back on was everybody was calling me the car guy in college. People that didn't know me or my name were calling me the car guy. So then I was like, you know what? I should just become the car guy. My name is Omar. I'm known as Omar the car guy on the streets for good reason. I own an auto company that my father started about 30 years ago. It's based in Queens. Right now we have about 5 locations spread out from Queens to Long Island. So I'm in process of taking over all of that and modernizing the company and spreading what my father started.
Very cool. Generational business.
Yeah.
So for those that aren't familiar with the car guys and who you are, can you go a little bit more into depth on the business and the model of the business and why you're known as Omar the car guy?
Yes, so we first started as like just repairs, simple repairs to like taxi drivers, TLC drivers, whatever the case. That's what my father specialized in. So then when I took over about 2.5 to 3 years ago, I wanted to bring a little more spice to the business. I wanted to appeal to the younger crowd, to the nicer cars, because we'd been there 30 years and it was running the same kind of business. So I felt like we needed to make a drastic change or appeal to a new generation of customers who spend more on their cars more than anything else.
Mm,
So I wanted them to spend that on with me.
yeah. In what sense? So what do you do? What are you servicing now?
So we do everything from like customizations to wrapping cars, tinting them, PPF, ceramic coatings, uh, custom lighting, ambient lighting, starlights, the whole nine.
So essentially like Queens's version of Exhibit,
Yeah.
Pimpin' our ad.
Oh yeah, yeah. Definitely, definitely. I grew up watching that show, and I always wanted to like do something like that. So now I'm getting to live it, and it
Mm,
feels pretty good.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's talk generation. So is your father still involved in the business?
No, but he comes every now and then to yell at me, and that's about it. But no, not really, because I made a deal with him. I was like, look, if you're involved, that means because he's a little bit stubborn. So I'm like, everything has to go his way. So I'm like, look, I'm trying to do a different thing over here. So I retired him fully.
Yeah.
So now he doesn't have to worry about anything. I'm taking the reins, and
So that was my question. I was curious to see how he was taking the modernization, but if that's honestly the best case scenario where you can call him if you have a question, but you really don't get his input on it the day to day.
no, I do. I'm in. He's a great mentor and role model to me. Without him, I'm nobody.
Mm.
So essentially, he gets all the credit. Him and my mother, as to who I am today. So we do often talk all the time, and anytime I have an issue or anything like that, I do contact him and I get his input on how to solve the issue and whatnot. So no, he is involved, but not directly involved
Yeah.
because he did his part. He
Yeah.
worked very hard his whole life.
Yeah. So you mentioned your dad started in the industry with the taxis, limousines, the TLC companies. It was been maybe 10, 15 years ago, as everybody's aware, with the major shift in the industry from taxis to Ubers in New York City.
Yeah.
How did that shift his industry? Did the Uber start coming to him, or did his business start to slow down because the taxis weren't as popular?
Well, no, it stayed constant because those who transitioned to Uber, they're still using their cars. They're still using their cars every day, and those cars need maintenance, repairs, and to be honest, those people don't really drive the best.
You mean the taxi drivers in New York City don't drive the best?
They definitely do not drive the best.
Really?
And my dad was a taxi driver back in the 80s, so he
Really?
originated from that. So I could say that. But no, but they are usually the worst drivers. So they always need something to repair. Oh, I hit this, I hit that, and I'm like, I know you did, and it's probably your fault because when I'm on the road in a private car, I hate when I'm next to you guys because
Oh, they're the worst. No
they're
offense, but they are
savages.
the
No
worst. They
offense,
are.
but
Well, they got to get to. You know what it is?
mm,
It's the city version of the suburban problem that we're having now, which are
yeah.
the Amazon delivery people,
Oh yeah,
which
yeah.
are Look, I love getting my stuff ASAP, but the problem is the fact that these guys are now whipping through these suburban neighborhoods because they got to get from point A to point B, and the more that they do, the more money they make.
Yeah, yeah,
It's no different than a taxi driver. Where
yeah.
The faster you get from A to B, the more money you make, and you can do more.
The more stops you
It's
get to
more
do. Yeah, I
stops you
get
get to
it.
do.
Listen, I'm
I
not
get
hating on
it, but
it.
it does kind of suck when you're next to them and you're
Yeah,
walking your kid, and there's a 50 mile an hour.
yeah, and it just cut me off, and I'm like, bro, come on. And then I see the plate, and I'm like, oh,
Of
okay,
course, yeah.
I get it. It's one of you.
Yeah, it's funny. So, what was the process? You started, you took over the company, and what was the
Mm.
process of rebranding it to say, hey, we're this new company?
Oh yeah, that was it was the big key was social media and the client list, the client base that I've earned over the years and grown over the years. Because back in college, everyone has known me for like being the guy with the auto company, even though it was under my dad. Oh, he's the guy who has that auto shop or whatever. So then people started, people in college get their first cars.
Mm.
And usually when you get your first car, it's not a brand new car unless you're spoiled, but whatever the case is. So those cars usually had problems. So then I was known as, for people that didn't know my direct name, they're like, oh, he's that car guy.
Hmm.
So then that kind of stuck with me, and then I was supposed to become a lawyer. So then I had a opportunity because throughout college I built so many clientele that I would send my father that it became like a thing. And then I had my customer base. So when I took over, I knew what I had to do and how to do it. It was just I had to get the right team. Right the week I took over, I hired 3 extra people. I didn't care about if I didn't have money or not, which I didn't. Well, I knew that I had to do things a certain way and prepare the business a certain way because the clientele that I wanted to attract, they demand a certain standard.
Mm.
They're not like the taxis. Oh yeah, let's just get it one, two, three. No, no, no. This is their baby BMW that their dad bought them, and they want to do all the special things to it. They want it to look cool. They want to post it on Instagram. They want to do all of that. So I had to buy a whole bunch of equipment, machinery, scanners, hired 3, 4 extra people, teach them new services, all while rebranding. I had to rebrand it, come up with the creative name, and Car Guys came naturally. And I was like, you know what? It's such a basic name, but it's to the point. You can't confuse it. You say the name, you know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of stuck with the rebranding, and then meeting the services that were demanded of me at the
Mm.
time. So
So what is the process like on a tactical level of saying, hey, we want, this is the client with how we want to go. I know you mentioned like you wanted got you hired employees, you bought a bunch of equipment, but like do you start calling people? Like how did you get these higher paying, essentially uh, higher paying, we'll just say for that
yeah.
class of clientele, um, or luxury car clientele? Like start calling people. What do you said you use social media. What does that actively look
So
like?
it was Instagram that actually helped me a lot because once I took over and I started letting everybody know as a business owner, you have to let everybody know what you're doing so that way they might need you or whatever the case is, or referrals. So then I started getting all the nice cars in. So then I started just making stories and media of nice cars at my shop getting serviced every day, which people like to see because people with those higher end cars, they're like, okay, if he could work on a AMG Benz or he can work on an M5 or he can do that, okay, he can work on my cars. That means so I built my experience and my, what I guess you could say, visual presentation. I guess that look, I am dealing with all these kinds of cars and I've been in the industry myself for about 20 years and I myself drive those kind of cars. If so I just had to highlight those, and then it kind of attracted attention that, oh, this guy's always dealing with Mercedes, this guy's always dealing with BMW, this guy's always dealing with Lambos, this guy's always dealing with Audi R8. So it's like when people see that, that attracts them first. Then they eventually start reaching out, like, hey, I was thinking about getting a wrap on my AMG Benz. I was thinking of getting this, and then that's when the consultation happens. That's when I kind of let them know, like,
So what
okay,
does that process look like? So they send you a message or they give you a call and then they say, I want to do a rap.
yeah,
What you have them come in on a consultation before you.
yeah,
So talk to me about that. What's the onboarding process
yeah.
of a customer?
So then I tell them, look, it's better that we meet in person so I kind of like can gauge your taste. And because when you're trying to wrap a car, nobody needs to wrap a car. You want to wrap your car. Okay, so what's the look that you're going for? Are you going for a flashy look? Are you going for a subtle custom look? Do you want it to be loud or do you want it to be different colors? Do you want, what are you trying to get at? So then I would sit and show them wrap jobs that I pull across Google or the internet, whatever the case is, and try to gauge their taste.
Mm.
And if they like a particular type of look, and I'll be like, okay, look, I can help you with that. So then I recommend them. Then I ask them, okay, what kind of color do you want your car to be? Like, what color appeals to you when you're driving on the road?
Mm.
So some of them say like a matte white or like an all black, matte black or whatever it is, example. And some people say split color. So whatever it is, so then I get the base from there. Like, okay, this guy wants a subtle blended in look, but he wants it to look custom. So we'll do like an all black, matte black. Then I'll recommend them like, hey, you should also do tints on your car. Hey, you should also do these body kits on your car that'll actually make it look custom. Hey, paint your calipers red, whatever the case is. So then it gets them excited because now they're building their car. Not many people used to do that before. Like now it's like mainstream. Now it's like trendy. Like when you go to the dealership and buy an expensive Mercedes, the first thing you want to do is do something custom to it. Most people do tints. Most people black out the chrome or paint their calipers or do the wheels black. So it works in that. Everything kind of like ties together.
Mm.
Like a well-rounded circle.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
interesting. Kind of selfish question just about the painting the calipers.
Uh-huh.
Um, I just started working on my own. I have a truck, and I just started learning all this stuff.
Nice.
And I saw change simple stuff like changing the brake, changing the like. I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not doing crazy
Which is
things,
fine. Yeah. Which is
but
better than most.
I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
very proud of myself.
No, you should be. No, you should be.
But thank you. But that being said, one of my calipers was locked, so I had to change the caliper and all this stuff.
Mm.
And but I'm curious. So like, what's the? This is my selfish question. If I
Uh-huh.
wanted to paint, so I have I had an F-150, but now I just got a new Silverado.
Mm,
Um,
nice.
if I wanted to paint the caliper, what is that? Probably can I do? Is that something I could actually do, or is that like something I would screw up and have to send into a shop kind of thing?
No, you could, well, you could do it. You just got to be very careful with the taping. I don't recommend that you remove the full calipers off itself at home and then paint them because then you could mess up with the brake lines, you can mess with the brake sensors. There's a lot of things, especially with new cars, that are going on in that
All the
zone over
electric and
there.
stuff.
Yeah, so what I recommend is just tape it really well. You could buy gloss spray cans if you want to do at home and just do like you could do like a layer of primer on it, then you could do like a gloss on it, then the clear on it. There's a couple steps that you can do it at home. You just gotta remove the wheel, put it on the jack stand, just
Yeah,
make sure everything is taped up properly and all that, and you got it.
probably not something I want to get involved in.
Yeah, and a little bit of sanding. So I do recommend.
Yeah, let's just send it into it. I
Yeah,
mean, look,
because
it'd be pretty hot to have the like a red caliper or something like
no,
that.
it is. It looks. It makes the car look. It
Yeah,
pops. It makes the
absolutely.
car look pop. Back in the day, people used to do a lot of plasti dip. So that's something that you don't need to sand anything
So what is
down.
that? I don't know. You know what that
It's
is.
like you could change the color of different parts of your car, but it's like a cheap version. Like you just spray it onto like a, let's say a spoiler. You want to do it black. You just spray it black. It'll look good for like a week, and then it dulls out, and then it starts peeling. It did the job back in the day, but now it's like the standards are so high now
Mm.
that no, you should do it professionally. You got to sand it down, then you got to apply the primer, then the paint, and then the clear coating, and then you'll get the optimized result that you will
Mm.
get at a dealership. So,
Yeah, not something I feel like getting involved in.
well, people do. So
Oh,
it wouldn't be
absolutely,
it wouldn't be
absolutely. But
since you're already in there, you could do it. Just buy some sandpaper and
yeah,
watch a YouTube video on someone doing
well,
it at
that's how I
home.
learned to change the brakes,
There you
man.
go. Yeah, there you go. It's not rocket science. It's not hard. You just
That's
gotta be,
fair.
just gotta have the right stuff to do it. Just
Yeah,
prepare. That's
no,
it. Be
that's cool.
prepared. That's all.
Um, just another follow-up question. You mentioned tints.
Yeah.
What's the whole deal with like legal tints and non-legal tints? And you really still getting pulled over for tinting? And what's that situation
If the
these days?
cops want to bother you and they want to find a reason to pull you over, they'll do it. But most cop cars are tinted. It's like, hello, you're tinted, buddy. How are you gonna
Yeah,
give me a ticket for being
yeah,
tinted? Some of them argue, oh, we need it for our protection. I'm like, you're the one with the gun.
yeah.
I don't have one. Don't I need more protection? So these days, cops are a lot more lenient on tints, but it can't be like the darkest of dark. Like you got to be able to at least see something inside. People mess up when they go like 0% or a 5% on tints, and then they tint their windshield. The windshield, the front of the car, is when they start bothering you.
Mm,
If you just do regular tints, a lot of cars come factory tinted, like
mm-hmm,
Mercedes, BMW, Lexus.
mm-hmm.
A lot of them, like the back windows, come naturally tinted, Teslas as well. It's just the front three windows don't. So if you want to kind of like have the tint look, you can do the front two windows. Just don't go crazy. Don't do the windshield because then they will bother you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting. What's the legal limit for the?
Legal is 75%.
Okay, so
And that
meaning
and that
you tinted 25%?
yeah, yeah. So it lets in only 25% of sunlight.
Oh, so you've sent you okay, so it's 75% tinted then. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And people, what's the average of like if you want to go for the tinted look?
Kind of like a tinted. I would say like 20% all around.
Okay.
It's like a safe look. It's dark, but not too dark, where they could still kind of see an outline of you. It's not like insanely dark where
Mhm.
they have to be afraid if they pull you over, because it's also for on behalf of the cops, it is a safety thing too.
You
If
can't
if
see anything that's
if they
going.
pull you over and they can't see anything, I would be scared too. I'd have my hand on my gun too. Like, hey, put your window down. Let me see what's going on.
Yeah.
But if you do 20s all around, they can at least shine the light. They can see that, okay, there's one person in the car or there's two. Okay, let me approach them. There's both sides to it. But
Very
we are
interesting.
in New York, so tints aren't going anywhere. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah. So what's some of your favorite things to do on cars these days?
Full makeovers. Like if somebody buys a brand new car and they want me to just build it out for them and make it like a nice custom look. I love telling them what to do because I see it all day and they value my opinion because I post all these nice cars all day. So one thing I'll do, like, oh, you got a brand new BMW? Okay, so first thing you should do is throw some tints on that. Okay, then you should do, you know what, you have a lot of chrome. Do you like the chrome? Do you want to do a full blackout? Like a sleek look, throw a wrap on there, maybe a ceramic coating, and like paint the calipers. So like custom stuff is what I actually like to do. But a lot of people come to me for repairs as well. When people they crash up their cars or whatever. So I like bringing cars back to life
Mm,
when the customer didn't think we could bring it back to life, and also like customizing cars to help the customer get the look that they want.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
If you had to say what the split is it 50/50 of doing like custom stuff and doing repairs, or are you doing majority repairs?
I would say majority repairs because that's what we like really specialize in. That's our 30-year base that we are really good at. Customizing we just got into a few years ago, which is not as hard as repairing.
Mm,
It's way easier, but it's a lot more fun because because those services the customers never need. They want. So they
hmm.
want to see you. When a
Mm,
customer needs to fix their car, they don't really want to see me.
that's a fair
They're not
point.
happy to see me. I'm like, look, hey, I'll make it work, but they're not really happy to see me because they need to fix their car versus a person who wants to customize their car. So
What
it's,
what are some things to look for when the typical MO is that the shop guys screw you, like the mechanics screw you kind of thing. Like you guys don't have the best rap in the industry kind of
of
thing.
course not.
So
No.
what are some things to look for when you're actually looking for a trustworthy uh, mechanic?
You can trust a mechanic when you go to them and they're not desperate to upsell you on everything. And they're being very honest with you. They're not trying to mislead you or anything like that because this industry it's a very dirty industry and we have experience with that and we where we get our reputation from is honesty. I do it right in front of the customer. I tell them, hey, you're not allowed to be here, but hey, come look at your car. This is what it needs. Replace that and you'll be fine. And most of the times I tell customers that, hey, you don't need to replace this right now. You can replace
Mm,
this in 3, 4 months. But if you'd like to do it now, preventative care is also very important for cars. They respect that because I give them the option to walk away, and nothing brings them back faster than that because now they know that hey, I'm not desperate to just make a sale, which we're not,
mm.
but
What about the aspect of like the majority of people don't understand cars? So when they're under there, like I mean, look, 2 years ago I didn't even know what a caliper was. So like if that was in there, and the guy's like, oh yeah, the caliper's all rusted, and there's this brake line and the turbos, and I'm like, I don't,
you
sure, man.
know.
Like so how do you navigate that as a customer when you're talking to a mechanic and they're naming all these things and you don't totally understand?
Well, this happens a lot with my female clientele. Most females don't know anything about cars, except the ones that do. The ones that do, oh, forget about it. But the ones that don't, so whenever they are waiting for my explanation and I could see the look on their face that like I'm talking in like 5 different
Yeah.
languages, I'm like, okay. First, I give them the visual. I'm like, come, let's take a look at your car. This is what it needs. This is what it controls. If you don't fix this now, this can get damaged. That can also get damaged. So I kind of give them like a brief brief description, like a easy to understand description. Hey, this makes your car go forward. If you don't fix this, your car's not going forward. Or this stops your car. Boom, the brakes clamp onto the rotors with the caliper. And then I give them like a basic thing. And I always tell them like, this is knowledge that you should pay attention to because you're always going to be driving. So this is something pay attention to, learn it little by little. I'll explain it from baby steps, and then most of the time they understand it and they get even more comfortable. And they know that I'm not bullshitting them.
But now, if you if they say they're not in Queens and they can't come to you guys, right? Like, what are some things to look for, like in the sense of like if they're not, you said trying to upsell, obviously, but also like when they're spewing all these things, how do you kind of walk them off the ledge and be like, do you just flat out be like, I don't understand, or is that just a sign that says sucker on you? You know, if you be honest with the mechanic, like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
How would you navigate that if you don't know what you're talking about? And the
Like if the
mechanics,
customer doesn't
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah, and the mechanic is trying to name all these things, and they're like, I don't know what to do. Sure, like fix all these things now, you
Yeah,
know.
well, those kind of customers, that even after an explanation, they're like, "Will my car be fixed?"
Yeah,
Yes, that's pretty much it. That's
yeah.
pretty much it. And then we give them, and we give them like an itemized receipt on what we changed. And I say, hey, keep the receipt, so that way, if you go anywhere else or anything like that, you know that you already,
Oh, that's a great point.
yeah,
Yeah, so if you go anywhere else and somebody says, "Hey, you need to fix the calipers
I just did
again,"
this two
I
months
just
ago.
did this too.
Boom. So
That's a
that's,
great tip.
yeah, that's one thing that I really, really help, especially for those people. I don't always write receipts for every customer because not every one of them ask, and they're always like coming in and out. And but the ones that don't get anything with the car, I give them like an itemized receipt. I'm like, no, no, this is what we replaced. This is that. So in case they go somewhere, they ask their brother or their husband, whatever. We keep our honesty afloat. It's like, hey, no, we replaced this, replace this. You can check your car. You can see that it's been replaced.
Hmm.
So we give them that, and they become a lot more comfortable.
That's a great tip actually for
Yeah,
anybody
yeah.
to keep trackers, keep notes.
Keep track. Yeah,
Yeah.
keep track of it. Yeah, and I even offer digital receipts. So
Hmm.
even if you lose the paper receipt, here's the digital receipt. Boom,
Yeah.
no excuses.
I want to talk about the 5 locations.
Nice.
So you have 5 locations. What first of all, did you start with 5, or like did your dad do the 5, or did you open up, like, what's that process?
So my father started with one, and he expanded to two, then three. So then after I took over the first location. I was only supposed to take over the first location. And then I saw an opportunity to take over the second location, which is on the same block as my first location. So I
Hmm.
couldn't let it go, especially when it was going to complement my business big time. And in that time, I did not have the resources or the money to even take it over. But I made a decision. I was like, okay, I'm in my early 30s right now. I don't really need to make insane amount of money in my first couple of years. I don't need to chase the money right now. I can chase the assets first. So all my income that was coming in that I really needed, I didn't care. I put it right into there because I knew that I wouldn't get that opportunity in that kind of setup again. So right now I'm in control of two locations. Our third location is rented out to a tenant right now, and I can take it over whenever I'm ready to. Right now, I'm not ready to at all.
Hmm.
Then my other two locations, we just took over as a family in Long Island. So we just took that over about a year
Hmm.
ago.
Where on the island?
Is one in Huntington,
Oh wow.
right by Walt Whitman Mall, like
Okay.
right around the corner
Yeah,
from
that's
it.
15 minutes from here,
Yeah,
20 minutes from here.
yeah, it's a beautiful location. We just took it over earlier this year, actually. And then the other location is east in Massapequa, like
Okay.
southeast.
Titled the car guys, or what?
No, not yet,
Okay.
but that's in the works.
Okay.
So right now I wanted to get myself up to speed first. My branding is there, but I want to get a little more firm because all my money and income went into the businesses. Just kept going, coming and going, coming and going, nothing staying. I
Hmm.
didn't want anything to stay. I just wanted to keep
Reinvesting.
improving, keep improving. So once I get a little bit better, a little more better on my feet within the next year to maximum 2 years, I plan to get everyone under the same umbrella. My brothers are getting up to on their feet in each location. So my brothers are running the other two Long Island locations. So we're in constant contact. I tell them, hey, what to expect, how to get those businesses up to par with mine. So that way, when I put our name on there, people know that what they're getting. Like McDonald's, you know what you're gonna get when you go to McDonald's. I want that to be known with the car guys.
Mm,
So that's
absolutely.
a work in progress.
Absolutely. So, what are some things that you're actually implementing to get there?
So it's pretty much a day to day. It's like learning new things day to day. So I take on the challenges. Even if I've never worked on a McLaren, I'm gonna work on it
Mm.
because how else do you start to gain experience? You can only start one way. So I take on the challenges. I work on stuff that I never worked on before, and I get my guys to get on par too. I'm like, hey, look, we never did a job on this kind of car. You know what? We're gonna do it. How much different is a car from a car? They all have similar layouts. It's just one is fancier than the other, one is easier to work on. It's basically the same stuff. So it's basically taking on the challenges every day and keep going at it until it's perfect.
Yeah.
When it's perfect, that's when you can really blow it up and mass implement.
I really like what you said about trying new things. Obviously, it's a cliche, like, oh, try new things, it'll expand, expand your horizon kind of thing. But the truth is the fact, like, that is true here in the sense of like if you never worked on a McLaren, the only way you're going to start working on McLaren is by working on a McLaren,
Exactly.
right? So
Yeah.
like, but then not only that, not only are you getting the experience, but bringing your guys in. Like, there's a phrase that says, a rising tide lifts all ships, and it's like when that tide, you're bringing that tide in for your employees. Like, yeah, they could gain all this knowledge and go somewhere else, but by you building them, up, it's just only making yourself that much stronger as a
Yeah,
as a
absolutely. The
company.
right team is so crucial in running like a business. It's one of my biggest struggles in the beginning was not having the right team. I didn't always have the right team. I kept giving the wrong people
Mm.
opportunities and trial and error, and then that was costing me money. Imagine training someone for a few
Oh yeah.
months and then buying the material, the tools, giving them the time, giving them the knowledge, wasting your breath on them for numerous months, and then at the end they just can't get it, or they're not good enough, or they give up. I got to go back to square one again and again and again. So that was
So what was
very
that
tough.
process? Is it was just trial and error until you found the right person, or did you find that you realized you were looking for the wrong things, or what is that
It
process?
was it was finding the right person that really really does matter. When you find the right person that understands the vision, most people these days that I've learned, they stay at the level that they're at is because of their own mindset. They don't see the vision that you're trying to help them see. And they're limited by their own vision. And
Mm.
most people are like that. Most people are like that. So the people that are not like that, and if I see like, oh damn, wait, this guy gets it. He understands what I'm saying. Oh wait, he's excited to work here. He understood what I'm saying because I can understand if someone understands me. I can tell if someone understands me. And most people just listen in one ear, out the other. But when someone absorbs it, I can tell that you're absorbing it because your body language, you're excited. I sometimes I say things too good to be true just to see how they would react. And some of them they're like, "Oh, really?" That's when I know, like, okay, he's paying attention. He understands what I'm saying. He gets the vision.
Mm.
As long as you understand the vision and what it takes to get from here to here, all the little hiccups in between wouldn't really matter if you're looking long term. So that's what I look for. So those are the people that I've kept close and I'm bringing them up
Yeah.
with me.
So what kind of systems do you have in place to make the company run smoothly?
System is like customer comes in, identifies a problem, tells us a problem. We identify a solution for them. We get the guys working on it. We have different departments to see where it goes. We have the mechanical department. We have the body paint department. We have the custom department. We have the detailing department. So we see where who needs to get up on the car. If I say like, if someone comes in and they have a whole scratches on their car, I will call my body guy. Hey, come. I need your input. Even though I know the job, but he's gonna be the one working on it with his hands. I want his input. Hey, how many days do you think? 2 days, 3 day job? Do we need to blend this panel? Do we need to do that? How many hours you think to fix this? So I always get their input, and then from there I sort it out with the customer. Hey, this is how much it's gonna cost. This is how long it's gonna take. From there, that's pretty much the system. It's like a basic.
And then what about the back end of like the bookkeeping and the keep taking notes of the customers and stuff like that? How do you guys log all that stuff? Do you use any
Well,
special service?
Excel sheets. We're working on actually improving that. But right now it's Excel sheets. We keep record of everybody that comes in and see what they got done. We also have a notes section. Annoying customer, or a very good customer, or customer is wasting time, or this and that. Because that's actually very important. Is to identify who's wasting your time and who's not. I'm not going to waste an hour on somebody who's not going to do anything and they do this every time versus a customer who's trying to spend $10,000. That's very important too, as a business owner and from management positions and all that. Know which customer to cater to and to get the business flowing. Because a lot of people like to waste time. I can identify a time waster from a mile away.
I have a colleague that has this phrase that where it has this mentality that he actually fires clients every year. And the concept is that
Wow.
80% of your time goes to 20% of your clients. Or no, sorry, something like the phrase is
Something like that, yeah.
well, like 80% of your income. Let me rephrase that. 80% of your income comes from 20% of your clients,
Absolutely, yeah, I agree with that.
and so which means the other 80% of your clients are kind of wasting your time.
I kind of wasting your
So
time, yeah.
what he would do every year is he'd be like, I'm sorry, like we're actually gonna have to, we're changing our business model or something like that. But essentially, be like, okay, see you later. Like, thank you so much
Yeah,
for the income you were helped so far, but like you're taking too much time. You like I'm making significantly more. This customer takes a lot less time, or whatever the
yeah,
case may
yeah,
be, and you can then cater because then what ends up happening is you cater to the time wasters, and the people that actually give you the
yeah.
income are left by the wayside because they're the ones that aren't the problems.
Yeah, and you're not benefiting anything, and you're there to benefit. I mean, I'm sorry, we're all working to benefit. Nobody works for free, and I don't want to work for free, and not after everything I've been through, growing the business and all that. So that's very, very important. And that was one of the struggles I had in the beginning, because when I took over, all of like everybody thought that it was gonna be like the same business, whatever. But no, I'm trying to appeal to the customers that really, really bring in income and they want to work on their cars, not the customers that are struggling to pay for a $30 oil change. It's like I kind of don't want to deal with that because it's like I'm not making any money on you. You're gonna give me a headache. You want the fastest work, you want the cheapest work, and you want the best quality work. You can't have all three.
Mm.
You gotta pick one. Like pick one or the other. And so then I started uh filtering those customers out. Sometimes I would quote them high just to scare them off because I know you're not gonna pay for this. All right, here, give me $100 for an oil change. Oh, that's too much. All right, take care. Then I move on to the other customer, or I just recommend places for them to go to, or I say my schedule is too busy
Mm.
because I have to prioritize income.
Sure,
I have
absolutely.
a,
It's
I
growing the
have a
business,
huge
absolutely.
payroll and I have to pay them.
Absolutely, that makes absolute sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Um, and then catering to those customers that actually pay the bills. What are you doing actively to get new ones, new customers?
So every customer that's my target customer, which is kind of like high-end cars or nice cars, they all have loyal friends. So that's one thing about people in the higher level. They all have their cliques, they all have their circles, their networks. They're very loyal to their networks. So once you do good by one of them, you can do good by all of them. So they all come in by referral, word of mouth. It's
Cool.
automatic word of mouth. That's the best word of mouth is high-end clientele.
Mm, absolutely. So the
Yeah,
majority of business comes from word of mouth.
word of mouth. Yeah.
Do you do any sort of marketing?
Yeah, on social media, on Instagram. On Instagram is a very
Organic
big one.
marketing, like just posting on Instagram, or paid marketing where you actually like
Oh
paying
no,
for it?
mostly organic. Mostly organic. We did a few paid ones just to get it out there, but we didn't really focus on that too much because the organic ones are really like sticking. They're the
Mm,
ones that the people that watch our stories and reply to our posts or interact with our social media are the ones that they're the ones I want them to see the story so they could
sure.
show their friends, oh, they're working on a Porsche now. Oh, they're working on a M5 competition or whatever. And then that sits in someone's head.
Hmm.
So whenever they go through a problem, automatically they refer me right there.
Absolutely. So we touched on it briefly when you were originally going to go to be a lawyer, and then we kind of got sidetracked from it. So what ended up happening that you didn't become a lawyer and you ended up going into this industry?
So I really wanted to become a lawyer because I just liked the way, I'm very detail oriented and all that. And I liked reading growing up, but it didn't really sit with me as well because I don't like to just sit there and study for hours and hours and hours every day. So I kind of was like looking for an alternative already, like, okay, what else can I do to prove my worth or how can I make my value go up as a man? And what I fell back on was everybody was calling me the car guy in college. Everybody, even people that didn't know me or my name were calling me the car guy. So then I was like, you know what? I should just become the car guy because there's a huge demand for this. Everybody has a car. Everybody it's one of the top 5 industries that run the world.
Really?
Yeah.
The auto industry?
Yeah, auto industry. There's beauty, there's real estate, there's auto, there's food, and there's entertainment. Those five industries run the world. They run the world. So imagine a world without cars. I wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be here. Imagine a world without beauty. Oh, forget about it. The woman won't, they will never spare us. A world without owning land or real estate, a world without food, a world without entertainment, because that's really big these days.
Yeah.
So auto is one of the major industries in the world. And I had an opportunity in the most expensive city in the world, or maybe not expensive, but the most millionaires and billionaires live in New York, in this city out of the whole world. So it's the most competitive city in the world. I'm in the most dominant, one of the most dominant industries in the world, and I had an opportunity to kind of get into that. And I already had so many clientele, and I knew how to multiply that clientele. I knew how to just get more and more and more. So then I was like, you know what? Let me leave the law aside, the lawyer dream aside, and let me pursue being the car guy. And honestly, it's worked so well because I know the game and it's something that I live and breathe.
So talking about knowing the game, did you grow up in the industry with your dad? Were you always there learning the things? Like what was that process like of learning the industry?
Yep. So learning the industry, I was doing it for, I've been doing it now. I'm in my early 30s. I've been doing this for over 20 years. So I've been going with my dad, helping him manage the shop and stuff since I was like 7, 8 years old. So, and we were in Queens. So I've seen all walks of life, all nationalities, all religions, all ages, all skin colors. I've been able to witness them, deal with them, take care of them, whatever the case is, for many, many years. So that built up my experience and my confidence to even get into this field. And that's what kind of really like that's why I kind of like jumped into it.
Hmm.
And
And I guess by being around, you learned how to do all the things that you guys now
yeah,
do.
absolutely. And then so then there was this time where me and my father kind of were in a disagreement because once he found out that I wasn't becoming a lawyer, he was like, "No, I don't want you part of the company anymore." So it was like kind of a rift we had, a disagreement on, I guess, career choices. So then what I did was, first thing I did was I went and worked for Geico as an auto damage adjuster. So for about 1.5 to almost 2 years. So that taught me the whole other side of the industry that I previously didn't know. And neither did my father because he came in as an immigrant. He never was specially trained. He just jumped in. So now that I was getting professional training from an insurance company, the biggest insurance company in the world, about cars and how to assess damages and how to write estimates. And that was probably the hardest thing I did in my life is to get approved from Geico, and the full grueling training that we went through was very hard. But I did it because I wanted to do it. Like I felt a passion to do it. So I stuck it through. And then once I finished that up, I was in the field as an auto damage adjuster, going to the best shops writing up damages. So now I'm over there because I know I'm not going to do this as a career. I'm doing this to know the game. So now I'm looking at everyone's layouts.
Hmm.
I'm looking at how the big successful shops with the heated floors that are worth 50, $60 million shops, how are they doing it? Or what are they doing? I had insider knowledge right there and I was getting paid to do it. So it was like double whammy, and I was just right there. I gained all the knowledge I needed. Oh, so this shop does it this way. Oh, so all shops go through these similar problems. So that kind of helped me really gain the experience I needed. The best move I ever made was work for Geico.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because it almost seems like a step backwards.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just life turns in some very interesting ways.
Sometimes you got to take a step back to spring forward.
Absolutely.
That's what I like to say.
I mean,
Yeah.
look at the sprinters when they're about to start sprinting, they have to take a big step backwards. You know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
like let to lean forward.
Yeah.
They don't just start right here, or they don't take a big step. You know,
Yeah. Because
it's
then I set my future up with that because if it didn't, God forbid, didn't work out with my father, I could have went to any other shop and I could have held a high position there and eventually owned the shop or my own shop one day and run their whole shop for them and be an auto damage adjuster to maximize each claim and all that. So I know that even if today I have to leave my company or something, I'll be fine because I could just go to any shop and my experience itself will set me up.
Yeah, absolutely. You've touched on it a couple of times, but if you had to like explain the demographic of your clientele, like if you were to build an avatar of that of a typical customer, what would that look like?
All walks of life, because Queens is the biggest melting pot of the world. The most big city in the world is Queens. And from there, I've dealt with Wall Street bros. I've dealt with very, very poor people. I've dealt with Hispanics. I've dealt with does Greek. I've dealt with all kinds, from 80-year-olds that couldn't get out their car. Then I had to help them out their car, service their car, and help them back into the 18-year-old who just got their first car. So it's not really it's impossible. It's literally impossible. I cannot build an
Yeah. All right.
avatar because it's so mixed. But that's what I love about it.
Yeah,
That's what I love about it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Abs- Do you see yourself turning into the shop that services only the $100,000, $200,000 cars one day?
No, I wouldn't want to limit myself to that, because limit like I sometimes most times I make a lot more money on cars that are not 100,000, or like the lower end cars, not the very, very low end cars, but like the mid tier cars. Sometimes it's great to work on those because it's easier to work on those, easier to find the parts, easier to deal with the customer.
Mm,
So I don't see myself limiting myself to that. It's like there's no reason to
it's very
when,
interesting.
yeah.
I'm actually very surprised by that response.
Yeah, because it's like I can find ways to benefit from all the other cars based on experience. So it's like, why limit myself when I could just accommodate that, and I have the space for it
Hmm.
and the locations for it. So even if I want to do one shop that only does Lambos and Ferraris, okay,
Mm,
if we have 5 locations in the family, I can be like, okay, this is the best shop for that. Or I can do one shop, hey, only for the normal cars or whatever, or we could do a mixed shop.
mm.
So I have things to play with. So no, I will always be in tune with all levels of cars.
That's very interesting, and I actually find very interesting what you just said that you actually typically make more money from the mid-level cars than you do from the high-end cars,
Yeah,
for many reasons, especially like you just said, the parts or the
parts are
labor or the
cheaper,
yeah,
labor is
very,
easier.
very,
Yeah,
very interesting. So you
yeah.
could, it's just one of the first podcasts I had was an accountant with this show, and one of the things he really stuck with me is like kind of looking at he's like most people don't understand or look at their numbers, and
Mm,
he said there a lot of business owners are missing out because he's like everybody thinks you want to make more money, and he said you actually might be more profitable at $1 million than you are at $5 million because
yeah,
yeah, you're making more money, but it's like, but now you have a second location with a new mortgage and 15 new employees, and you're
yeah,
actually one, you're a lot more stressed, which is costing you in general. But second
yeah,
of all, you actually profit less at 5 million than you were at 1 million, or even smaller numbers at 500,000 than at 100,000.
yeah.
You actually
It's
profited more, and it's like he's like looking at your numbers and actually understanding your business can
yeah.
you might not actually need to get to that point.
Yeah, that's very, very important, because he's actually 100% correct on the spot. Because when you servicing a Lambo, all right, now you need the tech to service a Lambo, and those techs are not cheap. Now you got to get the machinery for it. Now you got to get the scanner for it, the software for it. Now you got to order those parts. Okay, yeah, you're gonna get paid maybe 100 grand on a claim, but out of the 100 grand, you're not keeping the 100 grand. You're gonna keep maybe less than less than 30 grand, and even with that you got to pay the guys, you got to do this, you got to pay everything else, because the parts on that is way more expensive. Everything you got to buy from the dealer. You can't really source out the parts because it's a Lambo versus like a Toyota Camry. The claim might be a $20,000 claim, but you can keep a big chunk of it because it takes less to work on, easier to work on. I don't
Faster
have
to
to,
work on.
yeah, and I don't have to put the most expensive scanner on it. I don't have to buy everything from the dealer only unless the customer requests. But it's like there's ways you can keep more money with the lower end
It's very
cars
interesting.
than the higher end. Yeah,
Very, very interesting, actually.
yeah.
What's the goal? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
I want to expand to different cities. So Car Guys, New York we already took care of New York. We just want to solidify for the next 1 or 2 years, get even better in New York, and get all locations on the same page. And then once that happens, I want to do Car Guys Miami. I want to do Car Guys Houston. I want to do Car
Very
Guys
cool.
LA. I want to do Car Guys any state, because I want to. North Carolina is actually a very, very good state to do business in. So I kind of want to hit different states and kind of do like a sort of like a franchise kind of thing.
Very
So
interesting.
that's where I want to actually do it up.
That's
Yeah.
exciting. Very cool.
Yeah,
I'm excited to watch the process. It's been
yeah.
a pleasure to hear the story. So thank you so much for
Of
your
course,
time.
of
I
course.
appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for
Good
having
luck.
me as well.
Absolutely.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Omar the Car Guy. I just finished filming an episode with New York's Business Podcast. Stay tuned. There's a lot of good things that we discussed, and we hope to hear from you soon. In my industry, mechanics are notoriously known to scam customers. Here are some ways that you can actually combat that. So, or learn that someone is not scamming you is when they're not trying to really upsell you on everything. And one of the best ways that I do it is I actually, if I see that a customer doesn't need something to be replaced right then and there, I give them the options. A good mechanic will give you options. Hey, you can replace this in 2, 3 months, which it will need it by then, or you can replace it now to do preventative care. As long as you give the customer a little bit of power to make a decision, that's a trustworthy mechanic. A lot of mechanics will go, oh, even though you drove the car in, oh yeah, we got your car on the lift, oh your axle's broken, you won't be able to drive it. I just drove in. What do you mean? I just drove in, now I can't drive out. That's when you know a mechanic is scamming you. And if you're just simply going in for an oil change and you leave paying $3,000 and stuff that didn't really affect the drive of your car, you got scammed. So another way that you can really combat the scamming of mechanics or anything is anytime you get anything done, get a written receipt or a typed or a digital receipt, whatever the case, an itemized receipt asking them to explain to you what they replaced and how much it was for. So that way, down the line, if you go somewhere else and another mechanic is trying to scam you, saying, "Hey, you need brakes." Hey, buddy, I just changed brakes 2 weeks ago. You will catch them right there, and you will know not to trust that mechanic. Any other word he says is he just lost all his credibility because he just lied to you. So very important to always keep your receipts, especially the digital ones, written ones, whatever the case. And that way you can also verify, let's say you're going through an issue and someone else is looking at your car, they can tell if your brakes were changed or not. You can tell if a part is new or not new or aged or slightly aged. So that way you can verify like, okay, the mechanic I went to, he actually did change my brakes. You can trust him again versus the alternative. So that's very important to do. So one of my favorite things about being a business owner, even though it's the most stressful thing in the world, even though everything is on my head, but one of my favorite things in this business, especially in this business, is my power and ability to help people, to help those especially in need. A particular example I'll give you is I was doing an oil change for a lady. The whole time she was very fidgety. She was very like upset. She had like 2 kids with her, and she was just very down. And as soon as the oil change was completed, she said, "Hey, can I have a talk? Can I have a word with you outside?" I said, "Okay." In my head, I was like, "Okay, here we go again, right? Someone she's gonna try to ask for discounts. This, that. I'm used to that." But she genuinely took me outside and cried to me and said, "Look, I just got divorced. I have my 2 kids, and I really cannot pay $70 for this synthetic oil change." And she was actually crying tears, and I could tell if someone's lying or not, especially if it's a woman with kids. I can't say no to that. So then I actually just didn't charge her at all. And the reaction that she had, like she almost dropped her baby. she, she she was so shocked that someone would help her like that when nobody else was helping her. And that feeling right there is what kind of like captivated me. It kind of motivated me to keep doing more so I can help a lot more people down the line. So that kind of feeling, she was hugging me and all of that and was saying thank you, thank you, thank you. And she went out of there so happy, and I didn't care about the little $70 or whatever money I needed. Seeing her walk out like that with she was wiping tears out of her face happily, I was able to do that almost every day from there on out. Help somebody, even if it's the delivery guy that's delivering you the parts, give him a little tip. It makes his day. So my favorite thing about being in this industry and the position that I'm in is I'm able to help people when they can't even help themselves, and it's a great feeling, and that's the feeling that I go for. That's why I want to go even more, so I can help even more people. So while I do work on a lot of high level cars, the most money I make is on the mid-tier cars, the everyday car that everybody drives, like Toyotas, the regular Teslas, the Hondas. The reason why is because with the top level, those high-end cars comes a lot more work and a lot more expenses. The parts prices are through the roof. You got to get their best tech. You got to hire the best tech to get on that car because not everybody can work on that car. And a lot of times those cars take a lot longer to fix, a lot longer. So in that same time span where you're doing one high value car, you can do like three, four mid-tier cars because they're easier to fix, less headache, quicker in and out timing. You can actually make a lot more doing three, four mid-tier cars than one high level car. And and it's less headache because those cars they're in and out, so those customers aren't really stressing versus this guy's car who's stuck in the shop for a month, 2 months, waiting on a part coming from Germany, whatever the case. And now they're hounding you, hey, I need my car, I need my car. And now you're like, hey, I don't make parts. Call BMW. How come they don't have the part? This and that. So it ends up being that you got to accommodate a rental for them, even though it's not your fault. So sometimes it ends up being a lot more headache. That's why it pays to play with the higher end cars because it's a lot more headache that goes with them. They are definitely not easy to work on. That's why they're so expensive because they're so expensive and annoying to work on. One little thing, you can really, really botch the whole job. And with the mid-tier car, okay, if you mess something up, you can get something else. It's quick in and out, in and out. So it's like it's not that. So mid-tier cars usually make me a lot more money than the high-level cars. If you are a high value person and you have five high value cars in your driveway, I know that you're a high level individual. Now you trust me with one of your biggest assets. Cars are most people's second biggest asset besides their house, right? So if they're trusting me with that, now he can trust me with almost everything else. And now we're building a friendship. Now we're building a network. And who you network with makes or breaks you. That's the biggest thing that's why I'm chasing the high level cars is because I'm also making high level friends and your friend group makes or breaks you. So that's very, very important. So that's what's one of the things that one of the benefits of dealing with the high level clientele and the cars versus the mid tier. But if you just balance both up, you find a good balance, you'll be fine.